All right, to get started in digital media, let's first talk about what media is. Media, and we hear this term a lot, media is simply messages aimed at a mass audience. And what does that mean when you hear aimed? Aimed at a mass audience means that we're looking for, I'm not sending this message to one person, I'm sending this message to lots of people, and I want all of them to hear it. I want all of them to get it. And I want to get as many people as I possibly can with this message. And by mass audience is what they mean is anyone that'll listen. I'm looking to get my message out to anyone that's willing to listen to me, to let them know that I feel this way about this topic or whatever it may be. And so that is what a mass audience is. It's a message aimed at all the world, especially in the world we live in now, where any message can reach anyone thanks to the internet. Let's talk about the types of media that there are. There's three basic types, and you'll be familiar with all of them. And the first one is traditional media. Now you're thinking, I haven't heard about traditional media in the news, and I get it. Traditional media, though, is what's been around really probably since as long as we can remember, back when man first started to write. Traditional media is books, traditional media is magazines, okay? It's the traditional form of communicating with a mass audience. It's the most well established way. It's written, okay? And doesn't count the internet when we're typing stuff out. It's written, books, magazines, newspapers, all those things are traditional media. You can touch traditional media, okay? Our second one is one you're more familiar with, is social media. So remember now, these are messages targeted at a mass audience. So social media, the big parameter here that makes it what it is that it's created. I can write. It is created and controlled by a group of users. Created, controlled by I said a group, a community of users. So with that said, as you start thinking about this, think about what you classify as social media now. If you're thinking about Instagram, that group of users, someone in that group of users took a picture, okay? And now they've shared it with everybody else. It's created and it's controlled by them. And if you see something you don't want, you can get rid of it. Facebook, same thing. Snapchat, we're all in these things. We're all creating, okay? Twitter, all these social media outlets we are creating, but it's also things like YouTube, okay? Because if you think about it, YouTube is created. You have a creator on there that puts content out there for a mass audience, and if it violates the content or people get upset about it, those things out there, you get different sites that put these videos up, things like that. These are all social media sites, okay? And so again, created and controlled by a community of users. And then the last one, and this should be obvious to you, is digital media. Okay, we are in digital media class, so and digital media is really a little more simple than that. Digital media is when you combine your creativity with a computer, and you start with computer skills. I'll put it that way. If I can type, if I can write, I mean, with computer skills, and you create content. Now, this can be any type of content, and technically, it can be. I could use these skills right here in digital media to create something that ends up going into a book. Okay, but all these are looking to create a message that's to be sent out to a mass audience. When I create something for my mom in digital media, it's not media. Okay, it's meant for one person. Social media, I'm not looking to share something with one person. Snapchat I get, but typically it's still a user community. So in this course, we're going to talk about a couple different ways of looking at digital media. The first one, we'll talk about graphic design. That'll be a big portion of this class, and just simply learn to draw things and edit pictures to take out the issues with the picture, things of that nature. Then we have animation development, which is where you take inanimate objects, things that we know have no movement, have no life in them, and you add movement so that it appears to be alive. We have audio development, and with that said, video development. And when you're doing that, or video production, either one, this word works with either one. Audio production, video production, and that's taking audio and changing it over into something where it sounds better, has a lot of problems removed from it, and video same way. Okay, and the last we'll talk just a little bit about in this course is web development, and when we focus on that, in this course, we'll talk about the fact that how to create an online portfolio so that can help you. Let's talk about process real quick. So with process, how is digital media created? Okay, what makes digital media? Does it just happen? So how do we get started with that? So the first step in the digital media process is pre-production, and in pre-production, what you're doing here is you're making sure that you've got everything figured out. So in this situation, you meet with a client and you're wanting to make something for them, so you need to know how much money they want to spend. You know what type of digital media they're looking at, making a video, a graphic. There's lots of parameters. What's the purpose of it, things like that. There's lots of things you'll figure out, and then you figure out what can you do, and you're back and forth until you decide that you're happy with the plan for the digital media that you're going to create. And once you've got all that worked out, then you go into the actual production process. And the production process, this is the active task of actually creating the digital media. Okay. So if you're talking about a movie, they've figured things out, they've storyboarded, they've got the actors, they've got everything there, they've got all the things they need. The production process is the actual videoing of the video of the movie, whatever. And then, it'd be the editing process there. It'd be, fixing photos that you've taken, things of that nature. Okay. And the last process is post-production. Okay. So this is really difficult to remember, right? Pre-production, production, post-production. Okay. And in post-production, this is where you're kind of buttoning things up. You're making any modifications or changes that need to happen at the very end of creating your digital media. And the big one here is you're going to optimize this file. So we're going to talk about this more. You're going to optimize your files. And what that means is, and this is for the client, just so you know that. So if you're making this for the client, even if you're doing it for yourself, you're going to have to figure out the different file types. Okay, because it matters what file type you use. It might matter what file size you use, which can matter what file type you use as well. And then if you're getting ready for a client, you might even be worried about the file naming, because just because you made this doesn't mean that they're going to understand. If I can make an E here, they need to understand what each picture or what each video, whatever else, they need to understand what it's to be used for. Let's talk about uses for digital media. Okay, so how can I use digital media? What are the different ways that digital media is used? And the most common, guys, is for commercial purposes. Now, I say commercial, that doesn't mean that it has to be a video, but commercial purposes means that it's being used to try to persuade you to buy something. And so this can be in a magazine. This could be, this could be a commercial on television, like a legitimate commercial. It could be a video. So it could be a video. It could be audio for the on the radio, like a radio ad. Okay. It can be a post to put on social media. But the idea here is that you're trying to tell somebody that whatever product you have right here, um, it is the best, the best phone ever. Here, if this was a phone, you're trying to get that that purpose across to them. Okay, and so that's what commercials for. You're trying to persuade someone to buy. And then another one, probably the one we enjoy the most, and I guess we should based off the definition, but is entertainment. Okay, and with entertainment media, you're trying to captivate an audience, um, get them. You want them to be engaged. Okay, you want to captivate them, engage them, and so for this reason, a lot of times I think when we think about entertainment um, media, we think about like that you made somebody laugh or happy. That's not a good laughing crying face. But it can also be that you make them, sad, or that you make them, um, or that you make them angry. You want to engage their emotions with entertainment media, and so you think about you make them scared. You make them scared like in a horror movie or something. Okay, that's not a very good scared face, but you get the idea. Entertainment media is to captivate you, engage you, and to make you feel something. Okay, news, informational media is quite simply this: is to inform whoever may see this message. Okay, inform about events. This happened. Here's what happened. Okay, here's what's going on, and here's the information that you need to know. Okay, so a little bit different one here too. When you talk about here is with this one is public service announcement. Okay, now a public service announcement to some degree for people will feel like a little bit commercial and a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of information. And what the public service announcement is really doing, it's just trying to simply convey a message. Okay. And it's a message that they think that everyone needs to know. And with a public service announcement, it's to everyone. It's not to, because, entertainment, it's only to people who like scary movies or happy movies or things like that, or love stories. Commercials only to people that might be buying a truck or something like that. News is only people that care about that news event. A public service announcement is a blanket statement to everyone, and the idea of it is to, with the public service announcement, is to like instigate you to go to take action. Okay, I want you to take action. I might put that in there, be better. So they're trying to type instigate, take action, do something. Only you can prevent forest fires. Is the Smokey Bear from back in the day? Well, it's telling you to do things that stop forest fires. Okay, um, it's to make you aware. Okay, hey, this is a bad thing that's going on, and I want you to be aware that it's happening, so that you can do your part in preventing it. Okay, and then the final one is educational. Okay, and we're actually using that here for this purpose. Okay, this is what this digital media is for. And educational is trying to teach. Okay, but it's also not just like something like this. It can be a YouTube video where they're doing a demonstration. They're trying to show you something, how something works. They're trying to show you the process for making something, process for changing something in your car. But the idea is that when the person's done with this one, you want them to have learned something. So it can be a tutorial. It can be anything like that that shows people how to do something. And so, guys, that's pretty much it. One last thing that I do want to talk about right here is industry certifications. Now, in this course, we will not be doing that. But industry certifications let people know that, hey, anybody can tell you that they're good at Photoshop. In fact, you probably have people that tell you that already, and you probably have people that some of you here may think you're already really great at Photoshop or whatever it may be, and you may be. But what an industry certification is, it lets people know, hey, I've passed a test that says that I am capable of, at least passing the test. And the tests are fairly difficult. We won't be doing any in this course, but if you take that credential, and this stands for Adobe Certified Associate, if you get your Adobe Certified Associate credential, and then you add this little bit of web development up here, and you make yourself a portfolio, and portfolio is just going to be simply, here's some of my work, and you put that together, that can very easily equal a job. It can equal a job that you're doing for someone else, like you're taking pictures at a wedding, or it could be that you signed on with Epic Games and you're developing videos for their Fortnite series. All right, that's it. That's the basics and the intro to digital media. Thanks.